Welcome back in, Detroit Lions fans. Real quick, shout out to brand new members joining our members channel, or members page, I should say. Shane Sandner and Cleveland Thomas. Welcome to the Detroit Den family. You guys will be entered into your respective tiers of giveaways. I'll tell you right now, we got some good stuff coming up. We got a bunch of merchandise. We're just stockpiling, building up some inventory. But Will, what are we talking about today?
Steve, today we're going to be talking about maybe a debatable topic, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. But we're going to be talking about top 5 players to be breakout players in this 2025-26 Super Bowl run season. And I think we got some good ones, if I'm going to be honest.
You want to just start it off? Number 5. It's kind of is a ranking in a way. At number 5, Stephen will have Christian Mahogany, the dirtbag. Here's what was tough about Mahogany is, what are we going to grade him on when it comes to breaking out? Are we going to have to go off of the good old fashioned eye test? Are we going off of PFF rankings against the run in the pass? Are we going to go against, like, does he have to make a Pro Bowl? I don't know, but I think Christian Mahogany last year kind of started to once he got into the game and started getting some snaps. Well, I think it was a noticeable difference with him out there playing some guard. And I don't know how you break out as a lineman. So what do you think the fairest way to judge this off of is?
Don't let our quarterback get touched. Let's start there. Keep the hands off our quarterback. And then the next step to me would be just being a sound guy in the run game, because that's the first thing we want to do here in Detroit is be sound in that run game. And then number 3 is have some dirtbag plays, some dirtbag plays. He started this thing off in Detroit as the dirtbag. Tate's coming in, and I think he's going to be dirtbag number 2. But Steve, when I think about Christian Mahogany, I think about the Bears, week 16, him getting his first start, coming in off of mono. Like, yeah, I don't know who he was kissing. I don't know
what he was kissing doing. You on the lips. That's what I heard.
No. I wouldn't dare cheat on Levi Onwuzurike. You know better than that. You know better. Levi, plug your ears. But I don't know what he was doing in his spare time. Dude had mono, and he was fighting all season to get right. Got right week 16, got a start, and Steve, he did some good things. One of the highlights was this right here. There he is, left guard 73. You're going to see him check and then go and just smack my man.
Like, I don't have anyone to block. I'll just find someone, I guess.
Listen, I'll go put hands on somebody. I love it. I think that's part of what he culminates when you're talking about dirtbag mentality. He's not just trying to make sure you don't get to the quarterback. No, I'm going to put you on your ass. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to put you down. Watch that whole week 16 game today. He did let Jared Goff get hit. He did have a rookie mistake during that game. He did have a few bloopers here and there. But what I saw out of a guy bouncing back as a rookie from Manu, that if you know anything about it, man, and Manu just it takes you out, man. It makes you weak. It can really whoop you. This is a guy who bounced back, was starting. This is a 6th-round pick, Steve, that was starting against the Chicago Bears. Out in the screen game is one thing that stood out to me. Athletic enough to get out there and then put hands on linebackers, put hands on DBs in space. Those guys couldn't give him wiggle and get him off his rocker, squaring him up. Next thing that stood out to me was him in the stunt games, right? Him as a guard, getting those stunts in front of him, being able to check one guy, peel off on a guy stunting, coming across his face, and ride that guy out and keep him away from Jared Goff. I thought he did an excellent job doing that. The next thing I thought he did well is he wasn't exactly the type of guy that was mauling and moving people as he was talked about from Boston College. I don't know if that has to do with him being a little bit weak coming off of being sick. But what he did do is get guys turned, get guys squared up. When we did our outside zones and our inside zones, he was able to have quick enough feet to take great angles, man, and get seams for our guy, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. This is a guy that I'm looking for to have a full off season, to get healthy, to get strong, to get right. I'm expecting him to look way better than he did as a rookie coming off of a sickness. I don't know if he should be ranked number 5 or number 1, Steve. I'm expecting big things out of Christian Mahogany.
He's number 5 because he's an offensive lineman, and it's just there's a little bit of a grading curve there. But I'll say this: I think I know it's no disrespect because once you got the other 4 that are on this list, I think you'll understand. Like we got some studs, and we kind of had to use the word breakout. We worked a little bit together today finally, and we kind of had like a little discussion that we'll talk about at the end for why someone was left off of this list. So stick around; we're not going anywhere. But I think Mahogany is low key. A dark horse to be a Pro Bowler this year as a essentially really a rookie. Call it a hot take if you want, but very very limited tape. But the tape I see, I like. If he plays 17 games like he did the handful of times he got an opportunity, I think we'll be sending him to a Pro Bowl this year. And again, I'm calling him a rookie because I think you got to play at least 17 games in the NFL before you lose that rookie status. I know you had a rookie season with some practice and stuff, but you got to get some actual game NFL reps. Like playing against the Bears, that was a big game because we were still in the hunt for the number 1 seed. So for him to go out there and play as well as he did against a Bears team who was scrappy and gave us some good football games, it speaks a lot. And I'll say it, hot take, Christian Mahogany, rookie Pro Bowler this year. So maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm an idiot, but number 4, Will, I told you about this guy. I told you about this guy coming out of Iowa, Will, and you just didn't believe me that Jack Campbell was going to be just an absolute athletic freak. So Jack Campbell, number 4 on the list. With all the stuff going on, I don't even want to like stir the pot or get anything created. But this Alex Anzalone talk, if something happens, Alex Anzalone doesn't show up to training camp, are you comfortable with Jack Campbell leading the Detroit Lions defense with all the communications?
Communications, yes. I'm more than comfortable with him communicating and putting out the information that we need. I think he's just the type of guy that's gonna do everything he needs to do to be prepared to do that. So yeah, as far as communication goes, Jack Campbell being a captain out there, leading the boys, no issue at all.
Yeah, I put him on this list just in case the very, very 1% chance there is a little truth out of the Alex Anzalone rumors that maybe he's holding out if Jack Campbell has to step up. I think we saw it a little bit last year when Alex got hurt with that arm injury and Jack had to take over all the calls. And I think sometimes you just watch football games and when you're at the game, you hear, oh, tackle made by Jack Campbell, but you hear it like 13 times and it really doesn't click in your head just how many tackles and how many plays he's making until we come home and we're looking at the box score and we're like, dang, like, yeah, I heard Jack Campbell's name quite a bit, and it really just wasn't registering me like how effective he is in like the run game, the pass game. Like he's just everywhere, and I think he just flies under the radar somehow. Will.
Yeah, I'll tell you why he flies under the radar, Steve. Because he should fly under the radar. Jack Campbell is on this list. We talked about it, and I got an opportunity to watch some film, not only on Jack Campbell, on just our linebackers in general, and then linebackers across the league today. And I need more out of Jack. Now, I'm not going to say that he's not capable, but I was just doing some digging today. And let me put my boxing gloves on because I know I'm going to have to defend this one, but I'm ready to. I know 40 times aren't the tell all about whether or not you're a good football player, but just doing some digging and looking at some 40 times today, so some great linebackers, because that's what a lot of people have mentioned Jack Campbell as potentially going to be, a great linebacker. Luke Kuechly, 4.58. Ray Lewis, 4.58. Brian Urlacher, 4.56. Right. These are guys that were great linebackers. Jack Campbell, 4.65, 40-yard dash. Right. Does that matter in the big scheme of things? My answer is yes and no. Yes and no. In the basic level of football in the NFL, I see a couple of different linebackers. I see some of these new school Pat Willis 4-3 linebackers. By 4-3, I don't mean 4-3 formation. I mean running a 4-3 40-yard dash. There's some guys that are running the 4-4s, the Warners of the world. And that's all fine and dandy, but you got some of these guys who are just fast and it makes up for their ability or lack of ability to be able to diagnose plays. So it makes them an average football player. Then you got guys that are average at diagnosing football plays, but they don't have that 4 4.5, 4.4 speed, so it makes them average at playing the game of football. Then you got the special guys who have the 4.5 speed, and then they're the Luke Kuechlys and the Ray Lewises that diagnose plays in a split second. I don't care about Jack Campbell running the 4.6. I think he can overcome that, and it's absolutely no issues. There's other linebackers that have ran 4.6 that have been pretty doggone good. But when I watch him on film, he doesn't diagnose football plays in a split second. It takes him a little bit of time sometimes, and sometimes he's wrong. I know he's a young football player, but if we're looking for him to be great, he's got to diagnose faster this year. I'm looking for a step forward in recognition. Right now, over the past 2 seasons, Steve, you and I talk about it. Him going out to the farm in the barn and whatever
Curling bales
baling
of
hay,
hay.
yeah,
Squatting
whatever,
a bull.
yeah, whatever he's doing out there, man. Dude looks jacked up. Like he just looks like he looks huge, but he looks huge in a good way. He looks lean as well. He looks like he's ready to be an athlete and play some football. But I got to see that step forward on the field. One of the highest rated linebackers, what is Zach Bond from the Philadelphia Eagles. He's a 4.6 guy. So guys, don't think that I'm wrapped up into this 40 time. But when I watch him on film, he's slippery. When guys go to get his hands on him, he knows how to drop that shoulder and get out of the way. He knows how to slip and slide through the blockers. He knows when to take them on and when not to take them on, when to find gaps and slide through. And what do they say? Play goes away. You attack that backside A gap and go run the play down. Those aren't things that I see out of Jack Campbell quite yet, especially not at a consistent level. I see Jack Campbell finding ways to make contact. We talked about him being a stack linebacker. We talked about him taking on guards and taking on fullbacks. There's a time and a place for that. The NFL most times isn't a time and place to be taking those guys on heads up. Dude had to have hip surgery this year. Those violent collisions aren't something that you want all the time. If he wants to have longevity, if he wants to make plays behind the line of scrimmage, I need to see him diagnose the plays a little bit faster this year, and I need to see him find a way to slip and slide through the defense to go make some more plays. But he's a good football player. I don't want to make it like I'm hammering him, but I'm looking for greatness out of him. If we're talking about him potentially maybe letting an Alex Anzalone go or taking over for an Alex Anzalone, he's got to step his game up because Alex Anzalone is dissecting those plays substantially faster than I'm seeing from Jack Campbell right now.
I think you're right about the game not slowing down for him yet. And I was just about to say that, but I think what maybe stunted that growth and that development just a tad is I remember a couple years ago, we're using Jack Campbell a lot in pass rush situations to go rush the passer. He solely did that against the Las Vegas Raiders on Monday Night Football a couple years ago. And if you remember, he had a couple penalties for hitting Jimmy Garoppolo a little low. But I feel like now that he's got his niche and he's kind of a linebacker playing linebacker and not just blitzing a quarterback, maybe this is the year the game slows down for him a little bit. Because I think Aiden Hutchinson had the same thing for a little bit where the game was just so fast. It was just like, whoa, like everything's just coming at me. Like, what do I do? And then like Aiden Hutchinson's just elite and it clicked with him just a little faster. I think this is the year it clicks for Jack Campbell and it does slow down. What are we going into year 3 here? So with Jack, so I think this is about the time you want those first round picks to really be playing high end football. I know Jahmyr Gibbs is in the same draft class. We'll mention him in a minute, but I think for the linebacker, it's so much different because you're coming from Iowa where you play a lot of Big Ten teams and they run the same type of offenses, run heavy. Coming to the NFL, it's a little bit more flashy, I guess. Some of those college offenses are a little boring, and Jack kind of shined and stood out. But coming to the NFL where everyone's big, everyone's fast, everyone's strong, I just think that this is the year that it slows down for Jack and he puts it all together. But
I hope you're right, Steve. Lastly, before you get off,
I've never been wrong, Will, so I don't know why I wouldn't be right.
I'll let those guys get at you in the comments. But the last thing that I want to say about Jack Campbell, I almost forgot about this, is just the reading of the triangle, right? So the reading of the triangle, what I'm talking about is this: reading both guards in that running back. Ray Lewis said something that I absolutely agree with. He talked about how a linebacker should be able to match the athleticism, especially a great linebacker, as the running back. So a lot of times you're reading the triangle. What are these guards doing, right? And what's that running back doing? Can I read the guards to get the flow of the play? Are these guys outside zone stepping? Are they blocking down and pulling? What am I looking at? What am I getting? And being able to match the athleticism of that running back, we should be doing the same exact footwork while I'm reading both guards to get the diagnosis of the play. I just don't see that out of Jack. That running back athleticism. Step it up this year, Jack Campbell. Let's take this thing to the next level. I believe that he has it in him. I just got to see it.
Well, he was one of the highest graded linebackers with RAS score at the combine. And I know that doesn't mean everything, but once that clicks on a football field, we'll be talking about eliteness. All right. It's hard to compare Jack Campbell to Ray Lewis, like the greatest linebacker of all time. Luke Kuechly in that same conversation, like Brian Urlacher in that same conversation. I don't need him to be one of those three guys. I just need him to be a damn good linebacker. Like, I'll be happy with that. I don't need him to have a gold jacket or anything like that. Just be the captain of the defense and get people in the right formations and be a disruptor. But a lot of time on Jack Campbell. Moving on. I think everyone's on board. If you guys don't like him at number 3, I understand. If you think he should be higher, lower, I don't know. But you can't leave Terrion Arnold off this list as a year 2 player that's probably due for a breakout. And it's the same thing. Like, what do you consider a breakout? Like, I don't need Terrion to go out and have 5-6 interceptions to be a really good corner. I think he was playing really good corner last year, and a lot of people were knocking him. He got a little handsy, some penalties with the hands and stuff like that. It happens. Like when you're going against these receivers where all the rules favor them, it's tough. But I don't need TA to go out and lead the team in interceptions or anything like that. I need him to more times than not take away one side of a football field. Will, how do you feel about Terrion Arnold?
I feel like I'm just going to be doubling down on what you just said. To me, Terrion Arnold was 99% of the time in a position to make a play. What I need him to learn how to do this offseason is finish. Just straight Mortal Kombat. Finish him. He's got to finish the play, Steve. He's got to finish the play. This play right here is one that stood out in my mind, right? He was in a great position to bat this football down. He was in a great position to maybe undercut the route, man. But instead of doing the Michigan man go blue, Mikey Sainristil, instead of just getting under that thing and picking it off like Sainristil did Jared Goff, right? He just did. Yeah. he just panicked a little bit at the end of the football play, man. He's a guy historically that hasn't got interceptions. When you're talking about his time in Alabama and then obviously his time in the NFL, we're still looking for that first INT. But Steve, when I go through and I look at him going through his training, and I won't keep this, maybe we won't play the whole thing, but I love his feet, man. I love his feet. I love his work ethic. And if you watch his ball skills when he gets on a couple of these when he breaks on a couple of these routes, man, he has just phenomenal hands. He's an athlete. But I'm going to bring up something that I'm curious about. You've made mention to it a couple of times. Look at that one hand grab.
Looks like a young Steve Perkins out there.
If I look at the scope of our secondary, is TA maybe fit for a different spot? No, that's going to be a hot take. No, people are going to say, oh man, he's an outside corner. I'm crazy. I'm this, I'm that, or whatever. I respect where you guys are coming from. And I don't mean it in any type of disrespectful way. I think that he can absolutely be a solid outside corner without a doubt. But if we move TA down inside, is this a dude that can be impactful? He's not an easy out trying to block. He's down to get physical. Like, he's not just a guy that you're putting at outside corner just because he loves to just go play on an island, not tackle anybody. No, he's down to tackle. He's down to get physical. This is a dude who was playing safety at Alabama. So when I look at some of these other defensive backs, man, and we'll get into one of the other ones, so I won't even mention his name just quite yet. But we got Amik Robertson. We got DJ Reed. We got guys who can play outside corner. Is bumping Terrion down inside a thing that could go down? Now, I don't think that that's what's going to happen. I think you're going to see him at outside corner. I think he's going to take a huge step forward. But I just wonder what's the best move for the Detroit Lions as a whole. It's just something that interests me. I can't wait to watch it unfold through camp.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say we'll probably start getting a look at that here in the next couple of weeks once training camp actually starts. But I think Terrion, if he's playing outside, I think he's going to be the target. I think I don't want to use the term fish, but if I'm a quarterback coming to play the Detroit Lions and I got DJ Reed over there versus Terrion Arnold on the other side, who do you think they're going to start to try to pick on soon? It's probably going to be Terrion Arnold, so he's going to be tested. Safety stuff, we'll wait about 1 minute for that because I think he kind of rolls into our guy at number 2, and I think he might be a little high on the list, Will. He might be. I can understand if people don't like it. But number 2 is Ennis Rakestraw. Steve, how can you put Ennis Rakestraw on a top 5 breakout list? Because most of our players have already broken out. We're looking at guys to really take a step forward. Like, what is a step forward to me with Ennis Rakestraw is I think he could play a lot of different positions. I think he offers great depth. If someone gets hurt, he can play either outside corner, DJ Reed, Terrion Arnold. I think he can play nickel. I think if something happens to Brian Branch or Kirby Joseph, maybe you slide Avonte Maddox or Terrion Arnold in there, and then you shuffle in Ennis Rakestraw to take their spot. He's just kind of a filler piece for a lot of different possible situations. First things first, stay healthy, because everything I've seen on social media is Ennis Rakestraw looks good. Again, OTAs, I don't take a lot of credit into that. It's literally just workouts with helmets. But last year during preseason games and preseason camp, training camp, Ennis Rakestraw was being talked about way more than Terrion Arnold as a lockdown corner. I heard from quite a few sources that's the term they use, not me, but sources that I trust. Like when I hear the term lockdown, well, do you kind of become like a little dog and like your ears perk up, like someone said treat nearby, or do you want to go for a ride? Like that's kind of how I was when I heard lockdown. So him being talked about all last year, didn't get a lot of chance to play real football because of the injuries. Year 2, stay healthy, be a Swiss Army knife, be that versatile backup for a lot of different scenarios. I think Ennis Rakestraw could be due for a big year 2.
Just so, and I'm quite sure the people have already typed it because you gave them a good little bit amount of time. But Steve, you alluded to it, but I'm gonna say it again because I think this is how they're gonna say it. I think they're gonna say, "Why are you talking about a dude being a breakout who's not even gonna be on the field?" Right? I mean, he's got to fight. He's got to fight through a Meek Robertson. He's got to fight through DJ Reed. He's got to fight through Avonte Maddox, who's a veteran. He's got to fight through Terrion Arnold. Like, how is this dude gonna get on the field? Well, that's exactly what I was talking about when I was talking about TA potentially maybe bumping down inside, because if you got any tells on Coach Campbell, because I feel like he doesn't have his poker face is about as bad as mine, Steve.
That's bad. I mean, yeah, I would take all of Dan Campbell's money. I'll just tell you that.
Hey man, like he gets up there and he tells the gospel. He tells the truth. He tells it like it is. He said, "Listen, it was a little bit much for Ennis to play nickel last year, and we're looking at him right now at outside corner. That's what we're looking at." And they said, well, how do you see him getting on the field? And he said, or do you see him getting on the field? He said, that's up to him.
Yeah.
That's up to him. Yeah. So to me, they're telling him, hey, then the best guy's going to play. Go out there and be one of the top 2 guys, and we'll put you on the football field. Shoot. You alluded to it, and I heard it last year. Ennis was a little bit stickier in man-to-man coverage than Terrion was. Now, not saying that he's a better football player necessarily, but maybe he's just a better man corner. What does that mean? Terrion Arnold is bigger and more physical. Why not bump him down inside? You know what I mean? So if Ennis Rakestraw can be special, this is a guy that I truly believe the Detroit Lions were looking at potentially drafting with their first round draft pick if Terrion Arnold wasn't in striking distance like he was. Why not get both of these guys on the field? 2 potential first round draft picks on the field at the same time in the secondary. When I think about guys like a Meek Robertson, who I absolutely love, he's got 1 more year on his deal. Ennis Rakestraw has 3 more years on his rookie deal. Super, super cheap. Let's get him some experience if he's really like that. I love the idea of potentially him getting some reps and being in the fight. And the NFL season is a long season where you're going to get banged up. There's going to be battle scars. There's going to be casualties. At some point, if Ennis Rakestraw is taking a huge step forward, like I think he's going to get his opportunity to be out there. And I can't wait to see it, Steve. This is a guy who I feel like just has swag, moxie, and fearlessness, right? He's a tough, gritty guy. He's down to tackle. Maybe, I mean, the dude's only 185 pounds. Maybe he's not fit to be playing close to the box, but out there at corner, he's down to come up and make some tackles and make some plays, and he's going to cover. And this is a guy that I really like, man, this year to be a breakout football player and find his way to the field one way or another. I'm not wishing on anybody's downfall. I think that we have a great secondary that's deep as heck, but when those bumps and bruises come, we're not supplementing guys with guys like Kendall Vildor. We're going to have serviceable guys that could start at other teams, right? I don't think that I'm going to see Kendall Vildor without any injuries, starting for another team this year, right? Ennis Rakestraw to me is a guy who's a starter in this NFL, along with Avonte Maddox, along with DJ Reed, along with Terry and Arnold. Like, we got starters all over the secondary, guys that I didn't even mention. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does this season.
I think you said, I got to give you credit. You said Ennis Rakestraw a couple months ago. Like, you said that he was due for a big year too. So that's kind of what put him on my radar was, like, hey man, I think he gets forgotten about because he didn't play too much. But you're right. It's going to be hard for him to get on the field. And I think that if you look at our standard 4-3-4 defense, who's your starting corners going to be? It's probably going to be Terry Arnold and DJ Reed with your safeties, Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch. That's a tough four to crack into. If that's your starting secondary week one, I would almost guarantee you somewhere along the line, one of those four guys will get hurt, will get a boo-boo, will miss a game. If Ennis Rakestraw is the next man up, I think that alone should speak volumes for where he's at in his development. Like, just being the I guess the fifth man in the rotation, depending on what it is and what the injury is and what's going on. Like, there's a lot of different factors to this equation. But if it's Ennis Rakestraw is the fifth guy, I think that alone is saying, hey, like, this is a kid in year two that they're starting to trust. Like, they're giving him a bigger responsibility when we got all these other guys, Amik Robertson, Avonte Maddox, a Super Bowl champion. Like, it's going to speak volumes just in itself if that's just the move. But shout out to Will. He's one who I think you said him like right around draft time. Like, it's been a while when you mentioned him. But number one on our list, well, it wouldn't be a week at Detroit Den 313 if we didn't talk about Jameson Williams. So what constitutes a breakout season? Well, I think what J-Mo did last year, barely scraping by for 1,000 yards on just 56 catches and missing a couple games for a suspension. I think you put Jameson Williams on a football field for 17 football games this year, I think we're talking close to 1,500 yards and close to double-digit touchdowns. So I'm seeing a jump, and that's what I constitute as a breakout season for him. And big year for J-Mo because it's getting to be contract time too. So this decision to wait on him could be an expensive one for the Detroit Lions, or it's going to be a decision where maybe we don't know what happens next offseason or going forward in the future for the Lions. But Jameson Williams has been probably talked about on the show more than I don't know. I think we say his name more than we say each other's name. Like, it's just a daily thing almost. But J-Mo's my number one. I just see a monster Pro Bowl caliber season for him. I can't put him in the category. We'll talk about it. Well, how do you feel about J-Mo? I already know you love him.
Listen, I'm gonna say this, and
I'm not nuts.
Let me put my gloves. Let me put my gloves back on, because I know that I'm gonna have to defend this tooth and nail.
Oh, I know where you're going. Oh boy.
Listen. J-Mo, to me, is when I'm. Let me say this. Because I feel like I gotta defend myself already.
It's your show, Will. I know where this is going. I'm just gonna
yeah. I gotta defend myself already. But as a defensive coordinator, what those guys are doing when they're preparing for a football game, the first thing that I want to do is keep the other team from scoring touchdowns. I've never seen a defensive coordinator staying up all night trying to figure out how I'm going to stop this possession receiver. Oh my gosh, this guy just catches 20 catches and for 15 yards, and I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. No, you're worried about the dude. Don't run, Steve. Don't run. You're worried about the dude that's going to do things like just at any given moment, Steve, at any given second, I'm just going to run past your whole defense and just change the scope of a football game. We got another pretty doggone good receiver on our team, but he's not doing this. We got another pretty doggone good receiver on our team, and I got nothing but respect and love for him. I'm so thankful that he's a Detroit Lions. He's one of the toughest dudes in the NFL. But Steve, when he gets the football, I don't do that. I don't do this. Listen, St. Brown has caught 1 million crossing patterns, but when he catches them, he doesn't split defenders and do this. He doesn't do this, Steve. High step into the end zone, run by everybody, and make it look easy. Running easy. Steve, they said a couple of things about J-Mo this offseason. They said he was one of the first guys to Allen Park to start training.
Witnessed
He's
it.
been there.
I can vouch for that.
You feel me? So on top of that, they said in the meeting rooms, he's now asking questions with a level of football acumen, and he is the go-to for the young guys for the answers to a lot of the questions that they have. This is a different JMO. Has he had some off the seasons or off the field issues in the past? Yeah, he has, without a doubt, man. But everybody is growing at a different level. Everybody comes from different backgrounds. When we talk about this football, JMO has now, he's getting it right here. He already had the physical ability. He had a question with his hands. I haven't seen him drop a ball in forever. And not only is he no longer dropping balls, Steve, he's doing this.
This guy, he just needed that number one. That's all it was. He just needed that number one on his jersey.
Listen, all that to say this. I think JMO is the receiver that I'm worried about if I'm getting ready for the Detroit Lions. And I think this year he takes a huge step forward. And to me, if JMO does what I think that he's about to do, he's wide receiver one. Get in the comments. Tell me I'm an idiot. Tell me I'm stupid. But I'm worried about a dude that's scoring touchdowns. I'm not worried about a dude that's going to possession me to death. You can kill me with a bazillion cuts all you want. But if you score one play touchdowns, it's going to be tough to beat my team. JMO is going to be an absolute problem this year. Not only am I looking for a breakout, I'm looking for him to get into the conversations of the Tyreek Hills, the conversations of Jamar Chases, the conversations of the Justin Jeffersons. Now, am I saying that he's better than those guys? No, I'm not saying that he's better than those guys. But what I'm saying is he's a guy who can do all of the things. You can hand it to him. He can go score a touchdown. He's done it. Reverses, all types of stuff. You can throw a screen ball that he can take to the crib, or he can take the roof off of the defense. And he blocks his ass off. What more do you need out of a receiver? I just don't understand why there isn't more people talking about this dude. And I think that he puts a stamp on who he is as a football player in this 2025-2026 season.
William, I really hope that the people are nice to you. I really hope that.
I stand on it.
I really hope that the 8 people still watching at the 32-minute mark are nice to you. But I think I understand your mindset. I understand the logic. I understand a lot of things. But I think Amon-Ra St. Brown is still number one receiver on the Detroit Lions. When I think of a top 10 receiver in the NFL, I can't say Jameson Williams' name and not Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now that could be the case after this year. We could have two out of the top 10. Very, very, very likely. But when I start seeing like these posts on Twitter for like the best duo in the NFL, I think we got water and oil. These guys shouldn't mix, but it's a perfect combination of you got Amon-Ra St. Brown, who if it's 3rd and 1, I'm going to St. Brown. I just need 1 yard. I need to win a game by getting a first down. Ben Johnson don't run the football. I have to pass it. It's Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, if I'm backed up on my own 5-yard line and I feel like hitting a home run, yeah, it's probably going to be Jameson Williams or Jahmyr Gibbs. So I just think that it's the perfect combination. I understand where your head's at. I just say that Amon-Ra St. Brown is the number one. It really just depends on the scenario. More times than not, I need to pick up that crucial first down and go to St. Brown more times than I need to hit a home run. Like this Lions offense can hit a home run at any time. We got a couple guys who can do it. I understand exactly where you're coming from. I'm just on the other side of the fence, Will. I dig it. Yeah. But I'm telling you right now, like when I see people debating on Twitter, like, oh, Mike Evans and whoever else in Tampa Bay is the best duo in football. And I'm like, no, it's Jameson Williams and St. Brown. Like it just really is because they are two completely different wide receivers who offer two completely different things. And I think it's just the perfect match. Like water and oil might not mix together, but it's kind of like which one do you defend? Which one do you want to go with on this drive? You want to try to guard JMO a little harder? All right, we'll just throw it to St. Brown 12 times this drive. And when you guys try to shift and cover double team him, now you got Jameson Williams one-on-one. And let's just mention that we got Sam Laporta left off the list. He was an honorable mention. I don't know that Sam Laporta can break through anymore. He had a fantastic rookie year. So that's our list. Honorable mention was Sam Laporta and Jahmyr Gibbs. Listen, I already think Jahmyr Gibbs is the number one running back in the NFL. I don't think he can break out any more than he already has. So I think he's already the best. You can argue Saquon Barkley, but the Eagles run him into the ground. I much prefer the way that the Detroit Lions use Jahmyr with, 15 to 20 touches make him electric, that's perfectly fine with me. I don't need him touching the ball 30, 35 times because I want a 10 to 12-year career, not a 7 to 8 like most running backs. And I know Saquon's not that, but just had to throw that out there. That's why those two guys weren't mentioned. I feel like they've already broken out. You got anything else for tonight, Will?
Last thing that I'm going to say.
Hendon Hooker should be QB1. Is that what's coming next? I just don't even know. Buckle up. I don't even know where we're headed.
I mean, Kyle Allen really should be
All
QB1.
right.
That's a whole nother story. But anyways, or even TK85.
Broderick Martin's going to lead the team in sacks.
Probably, but no, being serious. Okay, being serious. The last thing that I'm going to say is when I think about the Detroit Lions, I could easily see St. Brown having a 20 reception game. And I think that 20 reception game looks like 20 receptions, 180 yards, and 2 tutties. You know what I mean? But I could never live in a world where there's a potential that Jameson Williams touches the ball 20 times, because there's no way that he's going to touch it 10 times, 15 times, and not score 4 of them. Right? When he gets the football in his hands, he's scoring touchdowns. We are trying to score touchdowns. Steve, you hit it on the head. You hit it on the head. I feel like this is no disrespect to St. Brown, but it's 1A and 1B, right? St. Brown is an absolute dog. I just don't want this to come off as anything disrespectful towards St. Brown. I absolutely love St. Brown. But you know what I love more than St. Brown? Scoring touchdowns. Jameson Williams can put that ball in the end zone. I don't care if it's from the back of the end zone or from the 1 yard line doing a reverse, a handoff, a toss, or anything. So I'm excited for him to really show what he can do. I'm excited for people to get in the comments and call me an idiot, because there's going to be a time here months from now, maybe next February, where we're going to have a conversation about what J-Mo did and didn't do. And I'm excited for it because the Denver Broncos game, he caught a football, and that's where it all changed for me. Maybe I'll share that on Twitter. He caught a football on the sideline with 3 dudes barreling down on him and juked one in a phone booth, juked the other one in a phone booth, and then juked the other one, and then just politely stepped out of bounds. The dude's a football player. He's not just some dude like a Brandon Cooks or a Turpin or somebody that's just a speedster just trying to take things to the crib over the top of the team. Man, this dude can play football from anywhere you need him to play. So I'm excited for him. St. Brown, Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Isaac Tesla. This offense is going to be a problem. Tim Patrick, TK85, Dominic Lovett. We got weapons all over the place, Steve.
I'll just be excited if we get to do another show and no one breaks into your house and kills you tonight for what you just said. Stick around, hit that like button. We'll be back later with another show.